Whew. Hello, hello. Just wait a little while. All right. Um, Manjama, first comment. Hey, hello. So I'm going to take it that you guys can hear me. Hey, J Wright 88. Brianna, thank you for watching The Notebook. And thank you for the review. Oh my God, why is my nose running? Cinnamon, hey, Cinnamon ST1X. Thank you so much, Tay, for letting me know that everybody can hear me. Also, Manjama, I hope I'm saying that right. I had to plug my mouse in from my MacBook, because it's I forget that I have to charge it sometimes. Plug it in, see if it's working. Let's see if it's working. Where is she at? I think my mouse is working. That sucks. Today we are going to talk. I wanted to play my I'm Reasonable theme song. I realize I haven't been playing that on the weekend lives. And I wanted to play. Hey, everybody. First of all, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Maria A. Hey. Sorry, my nose is running, and I do not know why. Um, hey, Tracy Johnson. Thank you. Thank you so much. ER, happy Sunday. Shamitra and Green LMFT, happy Sunday. Did I say that right, Shamitra? Why isn't this work? Is it off? Why isn't it working? Let me plug it into my MacBook. My Mackie bookie for charging. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, that's the thing about technology, right? We can rely on it all we want. But if that's all we know how to do, that's why sometimes I be driving around and I don't be using GPS. I'm like, let me learn these streets and remember. Cause then it be that time where GPS don't want to work. You don't know why it's not working, and now you lost. But they not gonna get me. No, they not gonna get me. I'm a use the robots, but I'm not gonna solely rely on the robots. Hey everybody, let's see what y'all talk about in the comments. Happy Sunday. Aisha, walaikum salam. Walaikum salam. Made it to one finally. Happy Sunday. Andre Henry. I hope I'm saying that right. J Wright 88. Quick question. Do you delete YouTube comments from your podcast? I tried I tried recommending a place for you to visit when you are in port. No. I mean, yeah, I'll delete it if it's something foul, but if you was just trying to recommend a place, then no, I would not delete that unless you were trying to recommend a human trafficking place. But no, I do not. Actually, if you guys go look on a podcast or even under my stand up, usually when people leave like negative comments, I just respond like Yelp. I'd be like, thank you so much for your positive review. We love that you patronize our business and we look forward to you coming back. Like, I play with y'all in the comments. Money 1322. I just seen you on Godfrey's podcast. You thought I was reasonable? Oh, trying to find a beef between the solution rather between him and Lord Jamar. Sorry, I'm sipping. So today we are going to talk about. It's a lot of planes crashing. Actually, that's the only reason why we're talking about it. I actually would not talk about the DC plane crash. Not that I would not talk about it, but I've had to be very mindful because then right after that, I've had to be very mindful of like my peace. Let me start finishing my sentences. Be very mindful of my peace, right? And not allowing like media to send me into a frenzy, a chaotic, like, fear-mongered frenzy. Right after the DC plane crash, which was tragic. And we still ain't got no answers, right? But then it was that plane crash that was caught on people's like cameras in Philly. And then yesterday there was a video on a Houston tarmac. I'm not sure which Houston airport, whether it was Bush or I know there's two big airports in Houston. I don't know which one it was, but apparently a United Airlines flight, like the wing or the engine caught on fire, and then they had to evacuate the plane. Okay, it was Bush. Bush Airport is called Hobby. So what's the other airport called? Let's go ahead and get this person up out of here. And the other is Hobby. That's what I thought. Okay, so y'all just putting false information in the thing. I heard that Luka did get traded, and guess what? As much as I heard that, I have no idea who that is. But I was around people who was talking about the NBA the other day. Free Palestine, yes, Allison. Put it in the comments 1,000 times. Free the Palisades too. Yo, human beings are so beautiful. The most beautiful trash I've ever experienced in my life. We are so beautiful, and we are the worst. Truly. Fantastic, but also terrible. I need a whatchamacallit in here. So Tay, I was going to talk. So you talking about okay? We're going to talk about the planes real quick. But Tay, are you talking about the black lady from New York, the 33-year-old black lady from New York who flew to Pakistan because she met a 19-year-old Pakistani boy online? And she thought they was going to get married. And when they got there, it was a no-go. And now she been telling the Pakistani government they need to give her all types of money. So she going to, Tay, I tried to like understand it because not understand it. Clearly I understand it, but I tried to get like the backstory because that's what I was going to talk about today. I tried to get the backstory, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to hold off on this until I'm reasonable on Wednesday because I'm like, I need to show them all of the, and I'm not set up right now. Like I'm not live streaming through another like app, so I can't show you guys videos and point to videos and stuff like that. So I'm gonna talk about that on Wednesday's episode, Tay. But yes, I definitely saw it. And it's very interesting. I mean, it's funny and seems ridiculous. We'll get into it Wednesday. Um, I've never had Folgers coffee in my life, although they were like a very popular commercial. Like, I know Folgers. I know their theme song or something like that because it was such a popular commercial. But I have never had Folgers is like instant coffee, right? Like I ain't never had that in my life. Um, Reagan, there we go. Reagan International. Oh no, Reagan, you talk about DC. I was asking, yeah, yeah. Okay. So let's get into at Reagan, which is DCA. The airport code is DCA. I actually love. I don't. I was gonna say I love Reagan Airport, right? When I fly into DC, y'all know I was just in DC 2 weeks ago. I was there the weekend of the inauguration, right? The weekend right before the inauguration doing shows. And I flew into DCA. And I always like flying into DCA for two reasons. One, I believe that is where I believe Delta offers a direct flight into DCA from LAX. So I love that. I fly Delta. I fly out of LAX all the time, right? Um, but when you try to fly into DC, it's going to give you a few different options. It's going to give you IAH, which is that airport in Virginia, and then it's going to give you Baltimore's airport, right? Both those airport, although no airport is really kind of like in DC Metro, Reagan Airport is the closest. Like it's literally like 10 minutes from the city. It's so easy, right? So I always, whenever I'm going to DC, whenever I have to be in DC for business, I don't think I've ever been to DC not for business. Whenever I fly to DC for business, I always try to get a flight into DCA. So the moment I saw this, it really did cause a bit of anxiety. I will be honest with you. As much as I also know the statistics on plane crashing, which is why to see two different plane crashes in a matter of 3 days in two different areas is like, and I don't know if y'all pay attention to international news, but my brother lives in South Korea, and I was just in South Korea at the end of the year for a couple of hours, and uh, there's been a lot of like plane crashes happening in not their main international, not what's the airport I flew into? There's two. There's the it's whatever. It's anywho. So here's the thing about the DC. It was a American Airlines. It was a small plane, but it was American Air because they had like 60 some people on the plane, right? And it was a small American Airlines aircraft, and then a military helicopter. Actually, it wasn't a plane. A military helicopter crashed into the plane, and it's been all fatalities, no survivors, and that's tragic enough, right? That's tragic enough. They've been telling us the stories of the people on the plane. They haven't really told us anything about the fighter pilots, like the people that was flying a helicopter. They're trying to find out. Everybody's trying to figure out like what happened, But of course, the president of the United States right now is Donald Trump. And his first response was maybe the people who are operating air traffic control, maybe they weren't qualified because they were DEI hires, and because the Obama-Biden administration, right? Which is so crazy when he named Obama, because I think he'd be forgetting he was the president in between Obama and Biden. So how you just skip yourself? But so here's the thing. That's a crazy remark, right? That's and Donald Trump says a lot of crazy shit. But that is a crazy, crazy, crazy thing to say at that time, right? True or not, I mean, we know it's not true. We know it's not true. But true or not, that's the craziest thing to say, right? So I was talking to my friend about it. And my friend goes into all the talking points that everybody's hitting right now. Like people trying to talk about DEI, but the largest recipients of DEI are white women. The largest recipients of DEI, 90% of DEI hires are white women, right? This is like the talking point. This is like the defensive talking point. While it is true, that's like the defensive talking point that everybody has, right? So then my friend goes and he said, you know what? They should do a video and they should find all the unqualified people. And I bet you they all white women. So he just started trashing white women, right? And I said, you know what? It just hit me. When Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high, like the depth of what she's saying actually hit me in that moment. I know it's a real easy like phrase to get. Like, yeah, if they acting stupid, you don't have to act stupid with them, right? But I realized that in that moment, I was like, this is really the problem. This is really the problem because we've actually all gone down to his level. We're all now low at this point. We've all now gone low because I was explaining to my friend, I was like, you know, this is like a tragedy. And really right now, the only conversation that should be had is one of compassion and one seeking answers, right? Solutions, so that whatever went wrong can be prevented, right? But really, the only conversation that should be had is compassion. I said, but he's so stupid and he go low he goes so low. He never misses an opportunity to go low. And so the collective us are now so accustomed to going low that you sitting here instead of maintaining your compassion for the families that are experiencing the tragic loss, you out here like and we need to find these white women and do you get what I'm saying? Like that is actually what she meant. Then instead of us just sitting in the tragedy of it all, and it's like those are the moments where somebody you love, you ain't spoken to in a while. That's when you're supposed to get on the phone, right? Because you don't never know. You don't never know when your last moment is, right? But instead, we sitting on the phone trying to figure out how to expose white women DEI hires and blame it on them because we now are in a constant state of just going low. Because our leader is as low as they get. As low as they get. So then, the next day, I wake up. First thing, this is the reason why I don't like to watch the news in the morning, like first thing in the morning, because listen, especially now, oh my God, ain't no meditation gonna bring you back from. You better wait until 1:30 in the afternoon. Wait till you do everything you got to do to check the news because it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. If you'd like to know what I'm drinking, this is a chai that I've made myself. A chai with sweetened with honey, and steamed almond milk. So then I wake up and let me see. Tay, are you still in here? Give me a thumbs up if you ain't here. Tay. Oh, Tay. Before I go forward. Tay. Okay, Tay, I'm about to make you a moderator. Okay. Um, they be ready. I was in like denial. You know, when you do like lives and stuff like that on YouTube, I was like denial, but like in denial about like how the Trump people come out. Like they come out like fucking groundhogs in the ground. And then you be like, you stupid. And then they say something so stupid just to prove your point. Um, so then after that, maybe like two days later, right? First thing, first thing in my news feed are a bunch of like camera phone ring cam footage of this private plane, like private medical plane that crashed in Philadelphia, which was sad. Um, and I believe that had like maybe 4 or 5 passengers on it. It was a kid and their family who had been flown to a children's hospital in Pennsylvania and got treatment, and then they were flying them back to, I believe, Mexico. I believe Mexico. If that is incorrect, then you can put the correct stuff in the comments. Um, so then I started, my anxiety went through the roof. I don't know if this happens to you guys. My anxiety went through the roof. Um, because now I'm like, oh no, what's happening? Planes are crashing. And like, it's people, it's government agencies and checks and balances being removed every single day now. And agencies being, removed. And I'm like, oh my God. And me, I like have to fly. That's like part of my work. I have to fly to get to you guys to do live show. Like every weekend, every week, I'm on a plane. So when I saw that plane, as much as it wasn't a commercial, airline, I was still like, why would that plane crash? Like, how does that happen? Then, now here's the thing about like social media, right? Is that then what people do, what users do, which is why I say humans have the capacity to be the most beautiful creatures in the world, but they also have the capacity to be the worst thing that you've ever experienced in your life, we can see. Um, okay, 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 okay. So a lot of people, what they start doing is they start posting plane crashes from years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like they start posting all of these things as if they're true, like as if it's just happening. So like every day there's this new, right? And they just give no information and they just post plane crashes, right? And so I, for like 2 seconds, fell for it. My anxiety is through the roof. My anxiety is through the roof. I'm terrified. I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm going to have to like drive to every show, which is ridiculous. Like I got shows in Pittsburgh this weekend. Who driving from LA to Pittsburgh? I'd have to stop this live right now and leave today to get to what? On top of the fact that the statistics are you're more likely to die in a car crash than a plane crash. Anywho, but I fell for it. I fell for it for like 2 seconds. I was like, oh no, my anxiety is like through the roof. Like, what's happening? Oh my God, it's not safe to fly. It's not safe to fly. It's not safe to fly, right? So then I'm like, okay, Zainab, this is not what you do. This is like an unreasonable response. Just look this up. And then that's when I realized like, oh, this is like not a recent plane. This is like something from like a couple of years ago, and and then I realized like, oh, that's like the point of the algorithm, though, right? It's like, yeah, it's gonna move that stuff to the top because the whole point is to have us like confused and in fear and chaotic and like and defenses are down, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna fall for it. I'm not gonna fall for it. And I don't know if this happens to you guys, but I was like, I'm not gonna fall for it. I'm not gonna fall for it. I'm not gonna fall for it. And then this morning, I woke up and saw the Houston plane had to be evacuated because it was on fire. And I'm like, okay, let me see if this is old news, because people like to post old news next to new news if they feel like it's relevant, just to like stir the pot, just to get like clicks and likes, which is like, who wants to get clicks and likes off of like tragedy? That's crazy. That is, what do y'all get a balanced breakfast? I really got to know, because like mashallah, have so much joy in my life. I can't even think about doing and saying some of the stuff that human beings be doing and saying. Are y'all getting, you got to eat some oatmeal or something, put some blueberries in it. Like, you need joy. Chop up some apples, cook them up with some cinnamon and some maple syrup. Get you some warm oats. Get you some fresh pink grapefruit. You need joy in your life. Yes, crunchy apple. Get you some oatmeal with raisins. What are y'all doing? Y'all must wake up and eat like candy bars, because y'all are sick. Y'all must wake up and eat a beef jerky. You are sick. You better wake up and cut a pear. Where's the joy? Yo, I grab a lemon from my lemon tree in the morning. I rotate it off so that I'm grabbing it gently. After I take it off the tree, I tell the tree, thank you. I go in my house. I turn on a teapot. I let it boil. I let it get warm, and then I make lemon hibiscus tea in the morning. It's delicious. You should try. Where's the joy? Where is the joy? So I look up the Houston plane catching fire, right? And on United Airlines, and these are major airlines. I think people find it like, people can excuse it when it's like, oh, something happened. Oh, there was a rat on a Spirit airline. They like, oh, well, I don't fly Spirit. But United, American, I mean, these are the top two out of the top 3 major U.S. airlines. This is a problem. And then what got me is, because I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm like, oh, this is a real story. And this just happened yesterday, right? And I'm like, how does this happen? How does this happen? Because I have multiple times been on a plane and the light ain't working in one of the bathrooms. The plane got 5 bathrooms. The light ain't working in one of the bathrooms, and they be like, hey, sorry, folks, we can't take off. Maintenance is coming to figure out why the light in the bathroom. And the flight will be like 2 hours. I'm like, nah, we cannot use that bathroom for 2 hours. They will not take off. So how does a wing of a plane catch on fire? Trevor Noah, I hope this is in one of his specials, because I don't want to give it away, but I believe that this is I can't remember if this is in one of his specials or if I saw it in a live show. I believe it's in one of his specials. Anyway, I ain't gonna really do the joke any justice. Go check him. Y'all know Trevor Noah. But he talks about flying on a plane and he could not, his seatbelt was broken. His seatbelt or his chair could not recline. He was like in first class or something like that, and his chair could not recline, and they wouldn't let the plane take off, or they wouldn't let him, something like that. He got a whole bit. It's like a long bit. If you, I don't know how often y'all fly. Of course, I have, like, I fly. Comedians that perform on the road, we fly so much. There's certain, right, traveling salesmen, people who work like government officials, celebrity, like people who fly a lot. Of course, our experiences on planes are going to be incrementally higher than, most people who only fly once a year for like vacation or, right? I am on a plane more than I ever thought I would be in life. The first time I ever took a plane was when I was 18 years old, was the first time I got on a plane. So for me to be well in my adult life, I'd never imagined that I would be a person in the air so much that when it's time for me to take a vacation, I'd be like, I don't know if I have the capacity to fly. Like, I would love to be on that island, but I don't know if I have the capacity to get on a plane and get there, because I'm on a plane so much for work. So I see all of the tiny things that they don't allow the plane to take off for. And I'm going to be very honest with you. Sometimes it be pissing me off, because sometimes I'll have a flight, like I'll be ready to get out of a city. My flight will be at 5:30 in the morning. I cannot wait to get home, right? The plane been there since the night before. The plane been parked there since 9:00 p.m. the night before. And then finally, when everybody is on board, then they be like, hey, folks, sorry, we got a problem. Apparently, they just have to check a little latch in the luggage department. There's a loose latch. And it's like, this plane been parked here for the past 9 hours. Why y'all wait until we on board about to take off, knowing good and well it's 5:30 in the morning? Don't nobody want to be here at 5:30 in the morning. That means we was up at 3. And y'all waiting until now? Y'all waiting until now? Yo, Tay, I see you getting people up out of here. Thank you. So how does, and then if you check social media, you'll see people like on people posting from the plane, like, let us off. It's on, and they having, it's like the crew and the captain, they having a hard time. It's like, you guys have kept a plane grounded for far less. It's literally like you can see it with your eyes. Almost everything else that happens on a plane, like where they like, okay, we got to hold for this. Oh, we don't have enough fuel. Oh, they got to de-ice. Oh, this thing is broken. Oh, a sensor just went off. So we just want to make sure. And let me just tell you, I have now resigned to the thoughts of like, better safe than sorry. Before I used to be like, I got to get there. I got to, this is an inconvenience in my day, right? But now I'm like, check all you need. I'd rather be late and alive than dead and on time, right? What is dead and on time? On time to meet with the Lord. But I just be sitting there like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to have to miss this. I guess I'm going to have to miss this thing. Oh, I'm going to miss. That's why I don't really like connection flights, because then there's more opportunity for something to go wrong. But if I'm on a connection flight, I'd be like, okay, well, I guess I'm missing this connection because they got to check something. But I'd rather be safe and alive. I'd rather be safe and alive. But all of the stuff that I have seen happen, I'm quite shocked that the plane can be actively on fire while the passengers are on it, and y'all still not pulling the plane up. Like, what? I believe that everybody on that Houston flight was okay. They deplaned and everything was fine. But I'm just like, so then I go right into the comments of that or the videos I'm watching, right? And lo and behold, the comments are saying everything that I've said here. Everybody in the comments are like, are they trying to make us scared to fly? That's exactly what I said to my friend. I was like, is this like fear mongering? Is this like all by design? Like, are they trying to scare us into staying in our regions? Because that's like part of division, right? That's a tactic of division. If that's the case, I got to get to my mama. If you guys have seen me, I ain't going to do my jokes. You got to come see me live. I was going to say, if you've seen my jokes, then if you see my set right now, then I got a little bit about this. But in the comments, that's what everybody was saying. Oh, are they trying to make us scared to fly? Like, is this a tactic? Are they trying to make us scared to fly? You said look up 15-minute cities. What's it like? What do you mean? Just Google it. Y'all watching that new show, Sterling K. Brown's new show on it's on Hulu. Oh, they want us to stay within 15 minutes of our homes? Okay, I might have to do some research on this and really bring it back on Wednesday's episode, because I can't stay no 15 minutes within my home. Although I do really appreciate my neighbors. I cannot stay 15 minutes within my home. All the people I love live further than 15 minutes away from me. Let's see, is my thing, I can't look nothing up because my mouse ain't working. Let's see if it's working now. Oh, it's working now. Let's see all the stuff y'all want me to look up. I did hear speaking of Godfrey's podcast, I did hear, because I had just tuned into the episode with him, his most recent episode with him, Dante Nero, and Akeem Woods, who are all comedians. And they had said something, they mentioned something about Kamala really winning? I don't know. Don't I don't know. Okay, let's look up 15-minute cities first. 15 city. I gotta go soon, y'all. It's 1:43. I gotta go do somebody else's podcast. A 15-minute city is an urban planning concept that aims to make daily necessities within walking or biking distance of residents. The goal is to reduce car use and promote sustainable living. I mean, just in that definition, I don't have a problem with that. But what I'm saying is, I don't want to be, okay, let me say this, right? When I was shopping for homes, and most times when I looked for apartments, I did look for that, because in New York City, growing up, aside from where I went to school, everything was in 15-minute distance of what I was doing, right? To get to the grocery store, to get to the corner store, to go to the masjid, to anything, right? The park, everything was like I lived less than 5 minutes away from Central Park. You get what I'm saying? So everything was in like very close proximity. The only thing that I had to like get on a bus and train for is to actually go to school, like all through elementary, middle school, junior high, everything, right? And so conceptually, I don't have a problem with this. But if it's like, to keep you like, because that's almost the same as like a walking score in a city. Like I look at that like, if I'm buying a home, like what's the walking score? Because I really don't want to have to get in my car every time I go to the grocery store. I don't want to have to, the worst thing for me, you know what I hate? It's like a pet peeve of mine, which is probably why I don't have a gym membership and why I just always find a way to like do either like calisthenics. The one thing I get in my car for is my Pilates instructor. She's a black girl. I like her. She got her own studio. But I would prefer not. But because she is a black woman entrepreneur, I'm like, you know what? Let me get in my car. And because I like Pilates, let me get in my car. But the moment I have enough money, I'm going to build my own Pilates studio in my house, and I'm going to have her come to me. But the worst thing, I be like, who want to get in a car to go to the gym? You know, people be driving like 30. I was dating this guy, and he lived in Hollywood, and he was driving all the way to. If you don't live in LA, you gotta Google this. He was driving all the way to Woodland Hills. I had to ask, and I'm sure this probably seemed like I was jealous or insecure. I was not. I'm like, do you like somebody up there? Because that's far. That's very, very, that's like me living in Midtown Manhattan and going to the Bronx to work out. That's crazy. How am I supposed to have a regular routine if it take me an hour just to get to the routine? That's crazy. That's crazy. Workouts are supposed to be like it. The one time in my life that I had a 9 to 5, I had it one. Okay, so at one point I taught for a very little while, but I ain't talking about that, right? When I moved to LA, I had a 9 to 5. It was right before I started doing stand-up. I had a 9 to 5. And I used to run a lot. I used to like always run, but then but just like casually, like on my own time, I would ride my bike, right? Just like just like leisurely. Like I wasn't running or riding to get to like work or nothing. But then I realized like, okay, I'm going into this office every day. I'm going into this office Monday through Friday from like 9 to 6. Damn, 9 to 6, not even a 9 to 5. Shucks. 9 to 6. And I'm like, I'm just sitting at a desk all day. The only exit, and it was a small office too, so it wasn't even like I had to walk around a lot to get to other, I'm like, the only walking I'm doing is if I'm really intentional and I go for a walk at lunch. So then I started waking up every day. There was a park near my apartment at the time. They had like a track, and I would wake up every day at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I would go to that park and run around. It didn't matter if the sun was up. It didn't matter. I would go and just freaking run around that track like 5, 6 times. Because I'm like, I'm about to go sit my ass down for hours. But if I didn't have that park next to me, I did live in a building that had a gym. So, but it's like, I don't know, I always like outdoor stuff better. But if I didn't have that park, I would have went right down to the gym. But if I didn't have the gym and the park, I can't imagine driving somewhere to have to go work out, then have to drive back home and then go to work. That's crazy. So in essence, a 15-minute city makes sense to me. But if the 15-minute city is meant to be a jail, if the 15-minute city is meant to keep you in versus just be convenient and again prevent or promote sustainable living, and I'm all for it. But if it's to keep you, if it's supposed to jail you and keep people separated, like, oh, you live in that 15-minute city? All right, well, I guess I ain't never going to see you because we over here in this 15-minute city. And, they got the whole National Guard right outside. So if we step outside trying to get to your 15-minute city, they're going to blow our brains out. That's crazy. I ain't with that. But just by this definition, I don't think I have a problem with it. 15-minute cities are designed to have everything residents need within a 15-minute walk or bike ride. I really love that. 15-minute cities emphasize public transit, walking and biking rather than driving. That's why we having a hard time in like the South and Midwestern states. That's why I have a hard time in cities that are not like, geared towards pedestrians. It's the reason why I really be liking to go to places like Chicago, San Francisco, New York. Let me tell you something. I actually really like Houston. A friend of mine, very, very close friend of mine, lives in Houston. I really like Houston. One day I said to her years ago when she first moved there, I was like, can we go to the store real quick? I just want to get something like quick. Like, can we just go to the corner store or something like that? And she was like, oh, yeah. And so we go downstairs and we get in her car. And I'm like, I thought we was going to the corner store. She was like, we are. And I was like, she was just must not feel like walking 5 minutes, right? And then we in the car. I realized we in the car for like 20 minutes. I'm like, girl, where are we going? I thought we were just going to the store. And she was like, oh, we are. We going to you just went to the corner store, right? Or you want to go to like Walgreens or something like that? And I said, oh, get me out this state. Get me out this state. I can't have to get in my car to go everywhere. That's absurd. But I grew up in New York City, where certain part of if you depending on what you do in your life in New York City, you ain't never got to get in a car if you don't want to ever in life. Okay, 15-minute city, sis. I don't want to mispronounce that. 15-minute cities are modern day prison complex. Move into the rural areas if you want to avoid being trapped when the Hunger Games starts. Okay. All right. Hillary, my sister lives in Houston. It's always 15 minutes, and they have the big freezers to save the trip. It really does. And I love seeing my friend. But it really does, like, dictate what you can do, the proximity of things. I'm like, oh, we cannot do nothing. I really got to decide, am I going to eat or take a nap? Or it's one of them cities where you just got to have everything in your home, and like you want to eat, then you got to cook, which is, maybe that's better, Anywho, I'll look it up a little bit more. This is my very, very, this is like my opinion, not being super informed, but I'll look it up and get back to you guys. And then I was supposed to look up something else, but we might be too deep in the comments. Comment it again if I. Marcus said, can I do a show talking about what it's like to make upload? Thank you so much. I will. Hey, Still I Rise. Thank you so much. I was wondering where you was at. Okay. Now I get it, Cinnamon ST1X. That's how they sell it to you, just like Amazon is convenient. And now, just like Target and everything is convenient. And now, back to your question. Can I do a video? Maybe I'll do an episode on like what it's like to make upload, what it was like to be a part of upload and make upload after or in anticipation of the 4th season coming out, which will happen this year. And so, yeah, maybe I could do that. It's been a wonderful experience. So yeah, I could probably share some things with you guys. All right. I think that's it. I'm about to go. All right, any updates? Let's see. Well, you know what my friend and I did talk about in terms of the DC plane crash? Why did I even chuckle right there? This is crazy. I'm like, do I say it or do I not even say it? When the reporter asked Donald Trump, the reporter asked him if he was going to visit. This also made the news. The reporter asked him if he was going to go visit the crash site, and he was like, "Why you would go to some water? Why?" Now so my friend was like, "Isn't that's such an awful answer?" And I'm like, the way he answered it was awful. Like the way he chose to say no was awful. But I think it was like not a good question. Yeah, we know that it's a that they crashed in the water. So what is there to, like I think that there's just, but I also understand it, like reporters and journalists and things like that, they asking questions like on the fly, and they may not have, a producer or writer right there with them to say this is the best way to, I mean, I would say that that's part of like your job as a journalist is like you want to ask the right question to extract the best information or the most useful information. I think when you ask Donald Trump stuff like that, you know what answer you're going to get. But I don't think it was like, I think that's the answer like a lot of people would have been thinking, but like, it ain't okay to say it. And it definitely ain't okay to say it that way. But I mean, this is what you get with this guy. This is what you get. But it's like what I would have probably been thinking that too. As much as I wouldn't have answered that way. I'd have probably been a little bit confused too. Like, go in the water. I'm gonna go visit the family. I'll meet with the families, of course. But go in the water, what? I don't know. It's some things that we do for it's some things that public figures have to do for the show of it all that have never made sense to me. Like people who, I mean, I could see grieving families going to um, death sites to, because it may make them feel something. But like the people who need to visit the site are investigators, you know? Let's see. He's not going to have Brianna. He does need better decorum, but he's not going to have it. We could just let that go. He's not going to have it. Um, and I personally think, I'm be very honest with you. I personally think I wouldn't care about anybody's decorum if they were like a good person doing right. I'm not going to get caught up in like the decorum of things. I think I think that's a way, like that's like smoke and mirrors. Like, did wait, but you ain't. I mean, okay, I'll tell this one story and then I'll go. I remember I got into it with my mom, right? And if you know any of my story, I am one of 13. My parents, my mother and my father, have 13 children. And one day my mom lied to me. And I call her a liar. And I was much younger at the time. Like I was probably like in my very early 20s. And I was like, when you left the house today, and I asked you what I asked you, did you know when you answered me that you did that wasn't the truth? And mothers being mothers and feeling like they that they can do whatever they want when they want regardless of, and you just got to take it because they're your mother. She kind of looked at me like, who am I? How dare I question her? How dare I, and I was like, yeah, so you lie. And so you're a liar because that's what liars do. They lie. And like, yeah, I was probably like really hurt and disappointed and, whatever. But all of my siblings, so my mom is pissed the whole day. She pissed, her feelings are hurt, everything, right? I'm quiet and really my feelings are hurt too. Cause you know what I'm saying? I had promised my nephew something and I wasn't able to fulfill that promise because you lied to me. You set me up to fail. And so I was like disappointed and my feelings was hurt too. And I was mad. And so I probably didn't say it the way I should have said it, and all of my siblings was like, what happened to mom? Why is mom upset? Why is she upset? And I was like, I ain't say nothing. I was like, go ask her why she upset. Y'all know one of them days in the house with your family, it just be like, I was like, go ask her why she's upset. And so my mother was like, your sister had the nerve to call me a liar. How dare she? Blase. All my siblings coming to me like, you call mom a liar? Why would you talk to her like that? And I said, hold up a second. I did not call her out her name. I ain't say nothing disrespectful. She lied. Ask her if she lied. Go ask her if she's saying I called her a liar, but ask her if she lied. And then come back and ask me why I called somebody that lied a liar. And all of my siblings was like, no, Zainab, you can't talk to mom like that. You can't. I get it, and she might have, all right, so she ain't tell you the truth in that moment, but you can't talk to her like that. Like, that's mom. And I was like, so we just going just forget she the one that made the offense. She the one that messed up. But we only going to focus on how I chose to express myself. But we not going to correct the wrong behavior. So when it comes to decorum, I do think that it's nice. It's nice for people to have decorum, but I don't give a shit about decorum if you are a messed up human being. I don't give a shit about decorum if you're a terrible person, if you're a terrible leader. I don't give a shit about decorum. And if you're doing everything right, if you are helping the public, if you are a morally sound person, if you showing up and you trying, then I also don't care about decorum. You ain't saying it right, but you doing everything right. I prefer that. Me personally. Sweet Butter Gemini, I'll probably now, at this big age would not overtly say that to my mama. Cause now I just, now there's something else operating in me. My mom is in like her late 60s. And so there's this other part of me that's like, I know I could give her the business with these words and these thoughts, but I'm going to just let her live. I'm going to just let her keep doing what she want to do just because she the mama. Whatever. Okay, I got to go, you guys. You know what? She's so Sherry. It is like, I get it, but okay, last story and then I'm going to go. One of my nephews, right? I'll never forget this because I think it's fine. What I'm responding to is she's so Sherry saying back then liar was a curse word, right? Especially if you saying it to your parents, right? To call them something like to right? I'll never forget. One day I was going to brunch. I was taking my younger brother and his family to brunch, right? And we going to one of these like little cute places where brunch is from a certain time. It ain't like you just go into this restaurant and you just decide to like, oh, we calling it brunch because it's brunch time. No, they got a brunch menu. You make reservations for brunch. Brunch ends at a certain time. That's it, right? And so my brother, his wife, and at the time they had 3 children at the time. And my brother running late, he always be running late, right? For whatever reason, I don't know the reason, but he be running late all the time, right? Him and his family. So I'm outside the restaurant waiting. This is like one of them places where the line be around the corner. The reservations are hard to get. Right? They give you a little bit of grace period, but after the grace period, you not there. All right. Well, then they're going to service, they're going to give somebody else your spot. Right. So, and we need a very specific type of table because we got kids with us. So it's like we need the high chairs. We need the whatever. Right. So my brother, because he running late, he going to pull his car up and drop my nephew off with me. And then go almost like that's like the consolation prize, right? Like, oh yeah, here you go. We here because I'm dropping my nephew off and we just. So my nephew, he's standing with me and he's like, he's starting to whine. He's like, Auntie, can we go inside? I'm like, unfortunately, they said that they cannot seat parties until the full party is here. So we gotta wait. So he's like, so like he a little kid. He real little. But I'm talking to him. I'm giving him the information. I'm not like, we'll eat soon. We'll eat. I ain't doing that. I'm giving him all the information, right? I said until we all here, they not gonna see us. So we gotta wait, So then my nephew, that held him over for like 2 minutes. Then he start complaining. Auntie, I'm hungry. I want to eat. My nephew like 4 or 5 years old, right? At the time. He's like, I want to eat. I'm hungry. Why we can't eat? I said, well, we can't eat because y'all was late. We can't eat because y'all was late. My nephew looked at me. My 5-year-old nephew looked at me. He said, Did I make plans with you? Literally, you guys. My nephew looked at me and was like, did I make plans with you? Did I drive the car? Did I pick a time with you? I did not show up late. I'm hungry. Now, he a little kid, but what he said was absolutely right. I was putting it on him. You was late. That's why we ain't eating. He looked at me like, you ain't make plans with me. I'm an innocent bystander and a hungry kid. I don't know what you talking about. And I had to concede. I said, you know what? You absolutely right. I did not make plans with you. I did not agree to a certain time with you. You are just a kid. I am so sorry. Because of your parents, because of your father, I made plans with your father. Your father knew what time we had to be here. And unfortunately, he didn't get y'all here at that time, so we just have to wait. Can you wait? And he was like, yeah, I could wait. But you can't blame me, Auntie. And I was like, you right. You right. My bad. So I am not one of those people, and this might be because I don't have children. I'm not one of those people that is an adult that can't see like the truth in a child just because they're a child. I'm not going to dismiss what is a fact just because this is like some subordinate to me. You know what I'm saying? But I know a lot of parents don't feel that way. A lot of parents, it don't matter how grown you get, they be like, because I'm your mother, I'm your father. And I be like, all right. Anywho, thanks y'all for tuning into this weekend's live. This weekend, I will be in Pittsburgh. I'm performing at the Pittsburgh Improv February 6th through the 8th. Pittsburgh Improv. Y'all pray for me. Make sure I get there safe, sound. I'm going to the Pittsburgh Improv February 6th through the 8th. Then I'll be in Chicago at the Zanies. I'll be in Chicago at Zanies Comedy Club in Chicago February 21st through the 23rd. If y'all go to like my page on YouTube, the link, and maybe our moderators put it in. But you could get tickets to my shows. You can either go to my YouTube page or you can just go to my website, which is zainabjohnson.com, ZAINAB, Johnson.com. Thank you so much. Definitely tune into the podcast episode every Wednesday. It's called I'm Reasonable. Those are posted on Wednesday on my page on YouTube. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day, you guys. Bye. And Tay and Still I Rise, thank you so much. Alrighty, bye.